皆さん、こんにちは。Today I want to start introducing the new kanji of chapter 14. These kanji are going to be ones that have to do with food or eating. There are also some that have to do with different animals and plants. So let's take a look at our first kanji. This is the ryo in ryori. So this is a kanji that we use to mean like the ingredients for something. We also use it sometimes to mean like the fare, like what something costs. This probably comes from the fact that before there was widespread use of like cash money in Japan, people used to pay for goods with rice. And like samurai, for instance, were paid not in coins, but in like an amount of rice, or taxes were taken in rice. So that's probably where this connection with money came from. So when we look at this kanji, we can see this part on the left might look familiar to you. This is okome, like the uncooked rice radical. So we put together this rice with like a measuring cup is the idea of this part on the right. So that shows that this is the amount of rice that you measure out for your ingredients in order to make some ryori. So let's take a look at how to write this kanji. Start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6お米ですね。それから1、2、3、4. One more time. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10. And once more. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10. So this is the ryo in ryori. Now let's look at the next kanji. This is the ri in ryori. So this one is a little simpler. We're going to start on the left with o-sama no o. And you notice the bottom part of this radical is pointed upwards. So it's not completely horizontal, it's a little bit diagonal, pointing up. So let's take a look at how to write it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Our next kanji we are learning because it is a part of another kanji that we will talk about next. So this kanji is read hang. It means to be against something, to oppose something. So we have words like hantai suru, like to be opposed. So mostly we are learning this kanji for the sound and the shape because we'll use it in another kanji. Let's take a look at how to write this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So once again, the reason to learn this hang is because it is a part of this next kanji that we are going to look at. This is gohan no han, asa gohan no han, hiru gohan no han, ban gohan no han. So when we write this kanji, we start kind of like we have in nomu nomimasu. We're going to start with a radical that looks like taberu, but it's missing that second last stroke. So let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is ご飯の飯、朝ごはんの飯、昼ごはんの飯、晩ごはんの飯。So now we're going to learn a couple of names of animals. Our first one is either gyu or ushi. So when we see this kanji all by itself, it's read ushi. But when we see it as parts of other kanji, that is, of other words together with other kanji, that's when we read it as gyu. So the word that we are going to learn that is like that this chapter is gyuniku, or beef. We also have a word that you might be familiar with, gyunyu, or milk, is written with this gyu. So let's write it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, this is a very simple kanji, but just keep in mind, and there's a reminder down here in the lower right corner. So this kanji does look a lot like the go in gozen and gogo. So remember that the top of it has to be sticking out to make it ushi. Our next kanji is also an animal. This one, the reading we're going to learn is this buta. Buta. So we start with the moon, getsuyobi no getsu. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this part on the right, this stroke has a curve to it. That big long stroke with the hook, it has a curve to it. It shouldn't be straight up and down. So this is buta, butaniku. Our next kanji is tori. So this tori means bird. Kotori we can use to talk about like a small bird. We also use this kanji in toriniku, which means chicken. So when we write this kanji, we start at the top with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then a long stroke, 7, hook, then 1, 2, 3, 4. We had a couple kanji, like kuroi, with these last 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like with those, be careful of the direction of these dots at the bottom. So the first one, the one furthest to the left, is going in a different direction than the others. Let's look at it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have one more last kanji for today. This kanji is niku, meaning meat. So we can find it in gyuniku, butaniku, and toriniku as well. We start with 1, 2, hook, and then 1, 2. 1, 2. We are writing hito, right? One more time. 1, 2, hook. 3、4、5、6. Okay, so this is the first half of the kanji for chapter 14. Make sure you practice both reading and writing the kanji so that you can retain them long term.